Namaste, beautiful friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness. Welcome to my channel, a channel dedicated to uplifting and enhancing your spiritual well-being. Okay, so this video is all about Jupiter going retrograde in Gemini and what you need to know to maximize your energetic navigation skills through these energies. Retrogrades can be a time where we reflect, we review, and we are going to start looking at some of the areas of the past that have maybe not flowed as nicely or worked out the way we thought they would, but we're going to get some of those grand aha moments, draw some conclusions from the past, and then be able to move forward in a new way. But let's first talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is a benefic planet. Usually it is the planet of expansion, of growth, of intensification. And it just makes everything seem like it just is able to grow so much larger or faster. And it seemed to have a little bit of ease about it. But now we're going into retrograde in Gemini. That is happening on October the 9th, 2024. Will go on until February the 4th, 2025, 4 full months of this retrograde process. And this is going to give us a chance to refine. That is the big word of this retrograde, refine. Notice that re. So we're going to be reflecting, reanalyzing, and then drawing those conclusions and then refining how we move forward. And what I can see is there's about 5 areas that you're really going to see some significant refination process. And so we're going to start off with those. Number 1 is going to be work. One of the things that you're going to notice in this energy is you're going to look at some of the ways that as you were trying to make progress, there was some stumbling or possibly a lack of progress or some slower growth. You're going to reanalyze that in this review time, and you are going to look at some of these aha moments of why those things were happening and then draw some conclusions in order to move forward. How can you move forward and do things differently? So you're going to have that introspection time to be able to reanalyze what didn't work before, what hindered your progress, and then come up with a new way of approaching that so that you move forward in a more powerful and successful alignment of strategies, which is going to make you work smarter, not harder. And that's the whole intent of this Jupiter retrograde, is to refine the way you're doing things. So you're going to refine the way you're working. You're going to become more efficient. You're going to find some small ways that you can incorporate different strategies or modify your strategies to make your efforts have more positive outcomes, more growth than the previous way you were doing things. So this is going to be very empowering for you as we move forward after this retrograde into 2025. Okay, another area that you're going to see some significant review, reanalysis, and conclusions, and then almost a reformatting of the way you move forward is in your communication. Now, Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is all about communication. So when you have communication, Gemini is represented by the Lover's card in the major arcana, which can mean relationships. So as we communicate with others, we're going to refine the way we communicate. We're not going to have over ambiguous terms. We're going to be more succinct. There's going to be more clarity, more brevity, and we are going to say more and talk less. So there's going to be a more clear communication. So So as you go through these next 4 months, you're going to find yourself kind of refining the way that you communicate with others. And this is going to help bring balance to your relationships. This being that Libra card, it's the Justice card in the major arcana, but we're in Libra season when this retrograde goes into effect, and Libra is all about balance. So these refined strategies in your communication are going to bring more balance, more harmony to your relationships. That brings in the next area that you're going to see a refinement is in your relationships. The communication is going to be one facet of that, but you're also going to have less ambiguity in relationships that are not balanced. So as we've been going through this Libra season, we have been seeing that a lot of relationships that were not in balance have had to go backstage, and that's how it's kind of been referred to in the readings, is, you know, those relationships just need to go on the back burner for right now, because you need to refine your focus on relationships that are imbalanced. They have an equilibrium so that there's an equal give and take, an equal flow of energy, so that helps to give momentum to that relationship. It helps to stabilize the relationship as you move forward. So you're going to be more focused on relationships that feel balanced and in sync, as opposed to relationships that you seem to struggle with. This is going to give a nice flow to your life, and it's going to be enhanced by that communication that I just mentioned earlier. Number 4, you're going to draw some big conclusions about your authentic truth. That's going to be very empowering for you, because you're going through this definition process where you're looking at what was, you know, prior versions of you and experiences that you have, and you're going to have this culmination energy where you start to say, you know, that didn't work for me because it wasn't aligned with my truth. That didn't support my success because it wasn't aligned with my truth. That relationship didn't work because it wasn't balanced in my truth. So you're going to start refining what works with your authentic truth, and you'll be able to communicate that authenticity through this refined communication and enhanced relationships. And then you're going to feel as though when you are in alignment, you are really, truly existing in your truth. You're blooming in your truth. And that then is going to help you navigate what works for you, what doesn't work for you in the future, because you will feel the energy of the alignment with your truth. If it's not aligned with your truth, it will not work for you. And so you get that big aha moment thinking, oh, that relationship didn't work because it wasn't my truth. Oh, that job wasn't right for me because it wasn't my truth. And so then you're like, oh, well, so now when I go forward, if it doesn't feel aligned with my truth, it's not for me. And now you're going to be able to express that in a more clear and accurate, succinct way where you can just say, I'm just sorry, it just doesn't feel like my truth. And that's going to help support your authenticity, support your sovereignty, support your empowered efforts to move forward, because it will be in alignment. And when it's in alignment, it is in the flow, and you're supported, and you feel as though you are truly co-creating with the divine. Number 5, you're going to notice the need to feel more adaptable. Now that you're in your truth, you're going to feel as though you can now start to differentiate what is truly meant for you and in alignment with your highest and greatest good. Because if it is in alignment with your truth, it is in alignment with your highest and greatest good. You are going to feel, after this retrograde on February 4th, 2025, the energies are going to start speeding up. You're going to feel a faster moving energy coming in, but you're going to feel as though you can navigate that much more accurately and while staying in alignment. Now, there is also going to be a little bit of a timeline overlap. So what you're going to feel is that some of the old timelines, these new timelines are going to overlap because this is a new version of you coming online because you're in alignment. And so now you're going to feel as though this didn't work, so now I can shift to this new timeline because you're more in your authenticity. And that new timeline is going to fit your authentic self better than the old timeline. That's what this refinement process is all about. This is going to feel like kind of like a relay race, and as you're going and it's the baton is being passed, at one time when the baton is being passed, there's one hand on the baton and there's the other hand on the baton as the baton is transitioning, and then there's just that moment that they're locked together, and that is the new timeline overlap. And you will feel that kind of lock in once you become aware that the old timeline is no longer functioning in this new refined version of you. And so the new timeline just snaps in. And then you're going to feel the energies moving quicker. It feels like there's a transition for kind of an old, clumsier way of approaching things. You know, your work, your communication, your relationships. That old, clumsier way is now being replaced with a more refined way. So things will get easier, things will be clearer, you will have less ambiguity, and you will have more streamlined efforts that are going to be so much more efficient as you move forward in the new timeline. Okay, a couple of things that we're going to I just want to point out before we move on into pulling some cards to find out what you might experience in these energies. You may also feel as though you are really, really focused on the salient features. You know, you're going to be less distracted by things that don't really align with your truth. They have been a huge distraction up to now. The word salad of you know, all the media, all of the different story versions that have been kind of blasted in our faces. You're going to be able to just pick out what really aligns with your truth as salient features and all of that. So it's going to be a more efficient process of just using your discernment of what is true for you. And as you go through the next period after this retrograde, so this 4 months leading up to coming out of the retrograde, this is the practice time. This is the time where everything kind of gets locked into place. But then after this retrograde in February 2025, you're going to notice that the energies start to speed up, and then you're going to feel like you're really in that flow. You're really feeling more effective ways of managing, but you're going to be able to pick out those salient features of all of the information and just say, nope, this is true for me. Nope, this is true for me. This is what's going to work for me. So you're going to really streamline the way you manage your energy and information. I feel like we're stepping more into our individuality, our sovereignty, and we're really going to expand after the retrograde from that energy of our individuality and sovereignty. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards and let's see what cards have to say about what you're going to experience during the retrograde and then afterwards. So I'll start off with the Sacred Traveler deck, and let's find out what's going on. I do want to say a couple of cards that I think you'll be seeing a lot of in the next 4 months. I think you'll be seeing the Lover's card, the Wheel of Fortune card, the Justice card, the Temperance card, and the Moon. So all of these are energies dealing with this Jupiter in retrograde. All right, we have taking shelter. The answers are within. And that is where your truth lies. And so all of the bombardment of information, of decision making, of communications are all going to go through this refinement process, and you are going to be able to discern the truth for you very quickly. Let's look at the Divine Abundance deck. And I think the Taking Shelter this is that time where we are kind of going within in this refinement process. This is the review and reanalysis. It's kind of like the instant replay review. You're going to go back over the things that you've been struggling with, work, communication, relationships, and your truth. And you're going to refine all of those aspects. Divine Abundance. And if you notice, the oracle cards came out in reverse. That's the retrograde energies. You were born to align with love's will. Follow and serve something beyond the ego. Learn to be abundant not chase it. So we have taking shelter, going within, and then focusing on the divine abundance. All right, let's pull from the tarot. This is the Psychic Tarot. Let's find out. I just saw new beginnings. So this is a new way of doing things after the retrograde, after this review and reanalysis process. Okay, this was in the reverse, conflict and defeat. This is about the Five of Swords. This is what has been sabotaging you. If you've been on my channel, the Five of Swords is always my self-sabotage card. It is in the reverse. It fell on the reverse on the floor. This is all about those self-sabotaging strategies that never allowed you to make the progress that you really knew you were capable of making. Those strategies are what you are kind of refining out of this process. It's like an alchemical process where you're going through that process of refining yourself, and that the old not necessary elements are just kind of being burned away or evaporated away. Ooh, here we have the Devil card. This is temptation. This could be some toxic behaviors that you are no longer carrying with you in the new you, the new timeline. There is no room for toxicity. Toxicity is just an ineffective way of dealing with things. This could be addictions. This could be, self-betrayal. This could be ineffectively spending your time and then complaining about not having enough time. So a lot of this energy is all about helping yourself become a more effective version of you, and navigating these energies to be able to facilitate the outcomes that you desire. There's that new beginnings card I just said I saw. So here's what we've had in the past. We've had this self-sabotage, we've had some toxicity, ineffective ways of dealing with some of our emotional trauma, some of our feeling of ineffectively and disempowerment. We may be masked using some of these toxic behaviors, but now we're stepping into our truth. Truth being that 0 point. It's not ambiguity. It's truth. And that's right here in the center. And the 0 card is 0 point. And so this is the new beginning, this new timeline kind of locking in, and you being adaptable in order to do this review and this reanalysis process in order to maximize your energy as we step onto this new timeline that's going to feel like it's a lot more fast moving. Okay, here we have, it's called the waiting game. This is choice point. This is the 2 of Wands card. This is choice point. Moving forward, making decisions that are more in alignment with this new timeline in the new version of you that fit together so well. And then we have this Emperor card. The Emperor card is Aries energy ruled by Mars, and this is about mastery, expansion. So afterwards, this is when the retrograde ends. These are the things that we're going to learn to leave behind, kind of extrude from our energy. Then we get to the 0 point. That's when the retrograde ends. And then we start to make new decisions, new plans, new actions that are in alignment. And then we get to this Emperor card where we demonstrate mastery. This is the practice phase during the retrograde. This is the mastery phase. This is when we're in the flow. This is when we're co-creating. This is when we feel empowered and efficient. And this is the new timeline. And it's all about expansion. So as the energies are going to get faster, they're also going to expand at a faster rate. So we want to be at top peak performance when we come out of this retrograde. Bottom of the deck, there is heartache and loss. 3 of Swords. Now there are going to be some things that you're going to have to leave behind, but I'm also going to say that it behooves you to navigate these energies and to go through this refinement process, because if you don't, when these energies speed up, it's going to be very difficult to keep up, because everything is going to be very, very quick on this new timeline as we bring in this age of Aquarius. So things are going to happen faster and they're going to be less colluded. So you're going to have to be able to navigate them faster. And I think if you don't, you're just going to get overwhelmed quickly. And that's what this card is about. Let's look at the bottom of the deck here, and then I'm going to pull some Lovers Oracle. This is about worth, your worth. Your enhanced abilities to navigate these energies, to be more efficient, to be more streamlined, is very empowering, and it's also going to support your sense of self-worth and the worth of others. And then lastly, here we have the Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. There is going to be a point in this retrograde season that you are really going to have to go within and just kind of learn to listen to yourself. When you learn to align with your truth, your higher self and your consciousness are going to be really kind of shouting at you how your decisions need to align with that truth. There will be no ambiguity anymore. It will be alignment or not alignment. That's it. It'll be more black and white. There will be less confusion. There will be more clarity. So you will be able to make those decisions a lot more quickly, because you're going to be able to navigate that energy. And if it doesn't feel like it's in alignment with you, you're going to say, oh, nope, I learned before in that older I'm not going to fight with that. I'm not going to wrestle with that energy. I'm just going to go through with what is in alignment with my truth, because that's what's going to create that flow. All right, let's pull from the Lovers card, see what this might mean for your loving relationships, because I know that's always important to people. What does this mean for the loving relationships before and after the retrograde? I feel like there's some confusion in the energy because the cards are not shuffling nicely. Feels like there's going to be a realignment with some relationships, maybe bringing them into balance. Okay, we have this one. Oh, we have 2. Messed up my spread here. Beware that you are projecting for the qualities you admire in one another or qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities that you don't like are also your own reflection. So this is a reflection time, and you may have kind of held judgment over other people for things that you felt were not in alignment with you, but really those could be a projection. So this is definitely going to be a time where you're going to be less judgmental. And you're going to say, oh, they're showing me what I am actually projecting, so I need to straighten that up. But after this retrograde, you will be manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become a reality. Trust your heart and to continue to follow its guidance. If you are not in alignment, it's going to feel very agitated and abrasive to your heart. All right, bottom of this deck. It is important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. 3 times now we've heard that. Answers are within, taking shelter in self, taking time for your own reflection, and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, it is now time to give to yourself. That might be something that you are changing in the way that you are approaching your work and your relationships and your communication. Many of us have given to others and neglected self. Now, in this retrograde energy, one of the lessons, the big aha moments, the conclusions that you will have is that you need to give to self. So take a step back, spend some time in solitude, and give to self. Okay, that is my assessment of what these energies are going to be bringing in and how they will affect you with this Jupiter going retrograde. Please let me know in the comments how you understood these energies, as well as what you're noticing as you go through this review and reanalysis process. I am Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness, bringing you my best spiritual guidance to help you enhance and uplift your spiritual well-being. Wishing you a lovely day. Can't wait to see you again. Namaste. Thank you so much for your likes, your subscribing to my channel, and your very kind comments. I hope you found this video helpful. Please check out my other videos for other messages that will help you enhance your spiritual well-being. I'm Elle, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you again. Until then, my dear friends, namaste.